How's it? This is Isaac Box, just your friendly neighborhood multi-dimensional being showing up authentic, raw, messy, and beautiful. This will find the people that it's supposed to find. Love you. How's it? Isaac Box here, your friendly neighborhood multi-dimensional being. 5 p.m. Tuesdays. Let's get into it. With the trash. Yeah, that should have been the name of my life, taking out the trash. That's just fucking happening these days. Not so much just for me, like, Pooja, hey, my friend. So, not so much for me taking out the trash, like I've been taking out the trash. Just any trash, any bullshit, any distortions, trashy fucking attitudes, trashy fucking energies that come my way, it's just, boom, just bounces right off. It's just comes in and comes out. Cole, what's up? Oh, we're gonna have fun today. So, today's live is called Trust and the Empowerment of Surrender. Now, what in the fuck is Isaac, your friendly neighborhood multi-dimensional being, actually talking about? I don't know, actually, really. I don't really know what I'm talking about. I just share the information. So you guys will have to figure that out for yourself, because you live in your reality. So whatever energies I share has not, like, the way that I want you to perceive it has nothing to do with me. It's your reality. So you take it, you condense it into whatever solid matter that you need for your experience. But what I like is kind of like what I was saying when I was joking about the trash, right? Taking out the trash. Lots of people are taking out the trash right now, just letting go of things that just don't benefit them anymore. Hey, Lexi. And so with that, the idea of trust, there's a few different aspects. Like when people talk about trust, like here's some of the things that I see with the trust. So one thing is, one of my good friends, they, they have some family members that aren't very nice. Let's just put it that way. They're choosing to live in distortions, and they choose to do very hurtful, manipulative things. So my friend is choosing to distance themselves. Lexi and Cole, we would call that in the New Paradigm Healing Academy, the 4 chakra distortion. You guys know very well about that. And sometimes the healing response, at all times actually, the healing response is not respond to that. So they have nobody to play with, right? Nobody to fight against. And they're sitting with their own reflections. So I tell them, because they're a very trusting person, and really they're just the epitome of unconditional love and open heart, right? Like many of us. And they, because we're so loving and open, we tend to think everyone else is. And that's just not really the case, It's not everyone has the same idea of life, and not everyone gets through gets through life in the same way as we do. Very open and loving and trusting and giving. And so they're just the epitome of like the feminine energy of loving and nurturing and giving. And I just said to them, I'm like, well, it's not about like they kind of start feeling they can't trust people. I'm like, it's not that you can't trust people. Like, let's not go down that road, man. And I was like, you can if you want to, but it never, that road wasn't fun for me. And the road that I choose now is I offered them, how about you just trust everyone to be themselves and be what they're focused on, right? Unconsciously or consciously, it doesn't matter. I tend to notice, like many people operate more. They create a reality and they behave from things that they're literally unconscious of, because they kind of don't want to see it. Because if they see that bad piece of themselves, the air quotes are coming out, bad piece of themselves, that must mean something. So they do other things and they hide behind, feeding the homeless or going to church or whatever it is people do that try to like look like they're actually doing something good in the world. And I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying there's this huge underlying thing of them literally manipulating and freaking destroying people's fucking lives. I've seen it happen. I continue to watch it happen. And no judgment, it's just discernment. It's very clear to me. I read the energy, it's what's happening. And so I just tell them, I was like, just trust them to be themselves. That's okay. And if you trust them to be who they choose to be, won't get surprised, and you can still be in trust, right? So you don't have a lack of trust, just trust in the energy that's there. Trust in yourself, trust in your intuition, trust in your own discernment. If something feels off, guess what? Something's probably off. Now, don't fill in the blanks, and don't let the ego go, here's the 80% that I can detect. The other 20%, I don't know what's going on, so I'm going to fill in the blanks and make a story. Because that's what the ego does. Catch yourself. Check yourself. Check yourself on that shit. Like, especially, you know, you really brilliant people that listen to this. The mind will do that. It's not a bad guy. It just likes to know answers, so it will fill in the blanks. So don't fill in the blanks. Just go, hey, something's off here, and I'm not continuing forward with that. I'm going to take a pause, and I'm going to see that seems like a misalignment. I'm going to check some things out, and then I'll move forward. And if it feels off and continues to feel off, and I don't get a clear yes to go in that direction with that person, I don't do it, right? Hey, Valerie. Make sure you guys are, there we go, okay. So, that's one thing of trust. Why am I talking about trust today? Heyo. Trust is what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing in life right now. Trust has, God, really, it has really led the way for me. With the experiences I have. So here's the old echoes and thoughts and ideas that are coming up to be seen, to be reknown, and here are the experiences. So life looks like this right now. Okay, so I can go into the stories of things never work out for me, like I did this thing and now this is happening, I must have done something wrong, whatever that is, whatever those old stories are. And they do come up, because when you go for what you want, you come face to face with what you put in between yourself and that. So, just on a side note, when the freaking fear and the sadness and the old stories are really coming up, I'm like, wow, I'm really going for what I want. Because these things are coming up because they can't stay. Because I'm going for what I want and I'm getting what I need, baby. Which is usually beyond what I imagined, what I wanted. So, it's pretty cool when you don't necessarily get what you want, but you get what you need. And what you need is better than what you imagined, or more cool. I've had those experiences. I wish those experiences on you too. It's a game changer. So as the experiences are here, and it's not really what I prefer, that's okay. I'm trusting in the initial intuition, the initial alignment of like, oh, I want to go in this direction. This really feels, yeah, this is aligned. I'm moving here, taking action, aligned action. Okay, that's me going for what I want, right? Now here comes all the things I put in between myself and that. I can get distracted, which sometimes I do. You know, it's shit feels really real. The experience of it was real, right? But then the idea of it's just an idea, and the feeling's just kind of a feeling. Once you move through it and you come out on the other side, you're living in a place that you more prefer, and you look back and you go, oh, well, that couldn't have happened any other way, right? So I trust my initial intuition, my initial steps forward, and I pivot. I got to pivot. Things are pivoting, man. Today is all about, I'm going here and I'm taking action, and then it's like, well done. Now that thing's not going to work out the way you thought, because there's something even cooler over here, but well done on taking action, because he got you from here to here, and now I need you. I know you wanted that, but now we got to pivot here. Okay. And now we're working on this thing. Let's pivot here. And okay, that thing didn't work out the way I wanted, but this came, but this is even cooler. And I didn't even imagine this, or I didn't even know this was possible. Wow, moving in this. Pivot, pivot, pivot. So trusting is really trusting the initial energy discernment of where I'm going. And it's like, I have no idea like how I'm going to get there. Like the unfolding of things, I'm taking my actions, the one or two steps that I can see in front of me. And these things are coming up, and it looks one way or another, and how I prefer, and it makes no sense. Trust that my initial discernment was aligned, and that things will unfold and things are happening. Even these things are showing up that I don't prefer. These things are happening for me, for my benefit. Another way to look at it too, that I'll give you guys a fun redefinition. Really cool way of looking at things, which has served me well. Falls along with trust as well. So trusting, I'm going through life, I'm having my experiences. Some of them I prefer, some of them I don't. So here's some experiences I prefer. All right, things are moving along. All right, things are looking up. And then bam, here's some experiences that I don't prefer. Okay, so if everything is beneficial to me, regardless, if I'm not attached to the outcome, I'm simply moving and allowing things to unfold, because I can't see fully. I don't know where exactly I'm going. I can have a picture, but I'm not really sure exactly where I'm going. The ego, the physical mind, can't really know how things are supposed to happen. That's divine mind, right? So physical mind, divine mind, talked about this before. Right? Divine mind's guiding the physical mind. So the physical mind's like, this makes no fucking sense, right? And so things are showing up that I don't prefer. What I've done is I've redefined the things I don't prefer. Instead of making them a negative thing and I've done something wrong, I just go, oh, well, this thing must be here as some sort of benefit to get me from point A to point B, which is point B would be what I prefer more. So this is actually here to help me get there faster. Right? Or when I go, I must be going for what I want, because now these things that I put in between myself and that are coming up to be seen, to be reknown, to be alchemized, to be aligned, to be let go of, right? So if everything's happening for my benefit, then even the non-preferable experiences are actually preferable. It's a pretty cool redefinition. Trusting in that got me a long way. It takes me far. It's going to take me further. I'll report back to you how much further that takes me, but life's getting pretty fun now. So that's another aspect of trust. And it's trusting your own discernment, your own energies, you know? You ever had something happen where you kind of was like, fuck, I knew it. I knew that. I felt that before I went that way, and I didn't listen to myself. I should be listening to myself. You guys ever done that? So it's okay. It's just another lesson for me, where it's like, yep, you actually were right on point. There was something off there, and you knew not to go in that direction. You thought of going this other direction, and you still chose that. And this thing comes up that you don't prefer. Oh, great! Now I really grasp the fact of trusting my discernment, because I got another experience of when I don't trust it, or I don't listen to it. Here's that thing that happened that I didn't prefer, right? And then when I do trust it, oh shit, here's some things that happen that I don't prefer, but this is beneficial somehow. And then it turns out to be even more preferable. So I mean, it's all in how you choose to define it, really. And if you notice on the tagline, it's trust and the empowerment of surrender. So, and then anybody on here too, like, go ahead and type in the comments, if you're so called to, if I missed anything with trust, like your version, like your idea of trust, right? And like something that I may have not gone over, because there's probably plenty of examples that we can kind of take it from maybe a third dimensional standpoint and kind of elevate it to a more quantum view on trust. So the empowerment of surrender. So surrender is another very misunderstood, or I don't know what word I'm looking for. When somebody looks at something and it's a little off, right? Like consequences. I think I did a whole live on this. Consequences. When many people think of consequences, they think of like something bad, like a punishment. You're going to get consequences. But consequences is just like a reaction to an action. So consequences are positive or negative. It's just you do something and there's a consequence. There's an action and then a reaction. That's what consequences are. But most people will think of that as a negative connotation, right? So surrender has that kind of same thing, right? Yeah, Cole says what's coming up for me is knowing there is risk in the act of trusting. So you're trusting in that risk. You trust that there's risk, don't you? Still trusting. Trusting in the risk. Trusting that things might not work out the way that you prefer. It's still trust. Which way do you want to look at it, right? Trust that things will work out to your benefit, just not to what you think you might want. Because I don't know about you, but there's a lot of times I didn't get what I want, but I got what I needed, and then it turns out what I needed was way more fulfilling than what I wanted. And so I got what I wanted, but it was more cool than what I initially wanted. It was what I wanted and didn't even know I wanted. Have you ever experienced that? That's a trip. That is fourth density, baby, like new paradigm shit. Like, I'm a fan of that. Pretty cool. I'm also a fan of getting what I want. But if what I need and what I want align, I'm cool with that. If what I need and what I want don't align, fuck what I want. Let's go get what I need. And then when I get what I need, usually is beyond what I wanted. And then even cooler. That's just my experience. I hope you guys get to experience that. You will get to experience that one day. Like, you guys are riding this wave with me. Like, let's go. So, surrender. It's got kind of negative connotation to it. When people talk, it's like losing or like weakness in some way. Like, oh, I should have looked up the definition of surrender before I got on here. Oh, well. That's always fun, by the way. Looking up root words. So, surrendering simply is, for me, in my definition, with the ego, surrender the ego, right? It's, the ego thinks it knows what's happening. It thinks it's creating what's going around, right? The ego's not creating this shit, right? It's a piece of the construct that the soul utilizes to have a third dimensional experience. So it's in its own right necessary to have a third dimension experience, but it's not the one necessarily creating it, which might be challenging to see if we're so used to putting our nose down and grinding out this third dimensional life. The more you work, the harder you work, the more things you get. Like, you can work the simulation like that. It doesn't mean that it's actually the original code. It it might just be a flaw in the code that you can get the simulation to kind of, right, reality to kind of shift if you will it and grind into action and grind against in a misalignment and just grind it out and take enough action, right? The language of divinity in third dimensional form is action. So you can make that work. A lot of the hardcore coaches and disciplined coaches and things like that, that's a lot what they did. I'm just not down with that. I've never been down with that, and I found another way. And it's much more fun and effortless with ease, flow, and grace. It's maybe not everybody's way, but it works for me. So surrendering is the idea of, like, the ego doesn't really know how things are going to happen. The physical mind can experience the present moment, the ego, present moment, and remember how things have happened. Doesn't know how things are going to happen. As much as it tries to, God bless him, he's just trying to keep me safe. He doesn't know. Not really. He doesn't really know what's going to happen throughout the day, right? What things are going to open and unfold. The divine mind knows how things are going to happen. So it's about really connecting the two and letting the divine mind guide the physical mind. That is surrender. The physical mind that goes, okay, I get it. I don't know exactly why you want me to go do this thing in this way here, but I'm hearing you, I'm feeling you, I'm seeing that is where you're asking me to go. So I'm going to do that. I don't know how it's going to get me to where I want to be, but I'm going to trust in that. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to surrender in that. That's living more of a soul-led life. Fucking works for me, man. It's fucking great. And the more I practice it, the simpler it gets, the less confusing it gets. Like, there's no, like, you can't, like, the energy doesn't lie. Like, I see the energy of things. I'm like, damn, that is fully aligned to where I want to go. I have no idea how that's going to get me here. But the soul can see how it's worked out. So just, I follow it. I surrender into that. And then I don't have to push so hard to create things. Things just kind of unfold. Pop. The soul's actually creating everything. My ego just gets to choose into it and experience it, right? It's like choose your own story. So I'm going to choose more of the person that created this, the soul that's creating all this. Like, I'm going to choose the guy that created this world, right? That I get to play in, and I'm going to follow that guidance. So surrender, the empowerment of surrender, so you don't lose yourself. Like, I get to keep my identity. I get to keep this beautiful personality structure. Like, this was all necessary for me to be here, for me to bring in the higher frequencies that is my unique core frequency, and channel it through the structure in this form, and anchor it into this third dimension, and start navigating. And I love that statement, you know, the empowerment of surrender. It's fucking true. You know, this is it. That's really all I got to say about that. I mean, it's fucking awesome. You guys listen to this replay again. There's some fucking amazing golden nuggets in this, like the empowerment of surrender, divine mind, physical mind. Live a soul-led life. Create in the high frequencies. Let go of the low frequencies. That's all we're doing. Everything that is we held on to, consciously or unconsciously, that is a low frequency, must be deconstructed, must be reknown as we construct in the new reality, in higher frequency. And this is what we're doing, and there's many of us doing this right now. So, love you guys. If you like this dope-ass shit that I'm laying down, like, subscribe, and share. New Paradigm Healing, baby. Love ya.